The massive ships of the Xerian Galactic Empire dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of Earth's solar system. 200 vessels, each one the size of a small city, moved in perfect formation toward the third planet from the sun. Their dark hulls gleamed with energy shields that could stop asteroids. Weapons that could crack moons charged up with deadly light. High Commander Zeftal stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dominator. His forearms crossed behind his back as he studied the primitive star system before him. The intelligence reports have been clear. These humans were barely past their first steps into space. They had only just learned to leave their home planet. Their ships used crude chemical rockets that burned fossil fuels. Their weapons were still based on throwing metal projectiles at each other. This will be simple, Zeftal told his crew. We announce our arrival. We give them the standard surrender demand. They submit. We add another world to the Empire. The communication officer, a young Xerion with bright orange scales, looked up from his station. Sir, we are detecting some artificial structures around their planet. Appears to be basic orbital platforms. Nothing that registers as a threat, Zeftal nodded. Expected. Even primitive species try to build defenses. Open a channel to the human homeworld. All frequencies. The view screen flickered to life. Zeftal straightened his uniform and put on his most intimidating expression. His voice boomed across space toward Earth. Primitive humans of the third planet, I am High Commander Zeftal of the Xerian Galactic Empire. You are now subjects of our glorious domain. Surrender immediately and your deaths will be quick. Resist and suffer eternal torment. You have one of your planetary rotations to respond with total submission. The transmission ended. Zeftal smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. In his 300 years of service, no species had ever refused this offer when faced with the full might of the Imperial fleet. 15 minutes later, a response came from Earth. The first sound was laughter. Not just one person laughing, but dozens of voices breaking into uncontrolled giggles and chuckles. Someone in the background could be heard saying, "Oh man, did you guys hear that? He wants us to surrender." More laughter filled the channel. A woman's voice cut through the noise. Sorry, give me a second here. The sound of someone trying to stop laughing echoed across space. Okay, I'm Commander Lisa Voss, Earth Defense Station Alpha 7. Who am I speaking with again? Zeftal's eye ridges lowered in confusion. I am High Commander Zeftal of the the Galactic Empire guy. Sorry, I missed that part because my entire crew was cracking up. Did you just threaten to kill all of humanity unless we surrender to you? That is correct, human. Your species will... More laughter interrupted him. Commander Voss came back on the channel. Hold on. Let me patch this through to Earth Command. They are going to love this. The channel stayed open. Zeftal could hear humans talking in the background. Hey Jenkins, come listen to this alien guy. He thinks he's scary. Are those supposed to be warships? They look like they were built in someone's garage. How many ships did he bring? Only 200? That's adorable. Should we tell them about the Tuesday incident? Nah, let them find out the fun way. Zeftal's confusion grew. What was the Tuesday incident? Why were these humans not afraid? His fleet had conquered star systems with thousands of worlds. Entire civilizations had surrendered the moment they saw the Imperial fleet. Commander Voss came back on the channel. Okay, I just forwarded your message to Earth Command along with a note that says, you have got to see this. They should get back to us soon. In the meantime, can I ask where you guys are from? Because honestly, your ships look kind of old. Old, Zeftal sputtered. These are the finest vessels in the galaxy. Each one carries enough firepower to destroy a planet. Oh wow, really? That's so cool. Hey Martinez, this guy says his ships can destroy planets. Yes, I know, right? Anyway, Commander, Zeftal, did I say that right? Zeftal. Right, sorry. Anyway, Zeftal, I have to ask, did you guys do any research before you came here? Like, did you check what kind of defenses we have? Or maybe ask around to see if anyone had visited Earth before? Zeftal looked at his intelligence officer. The officer quickly checked his data pad and shook his head. Sir, our scouts reported basic chemical rockets and primitive metal alloys. No advanced technology detected. Our intelligence is perfect, human. Your species is barely capable of spaceflight. You have no defenses that could threaten us. The laughter started again. This time it seemed to come from multiple stations around Earth. Oh my god, Commander Voss said between giggles. You guys actually think our old museum pieces are our real spaceships? That's amazing. Hey, does anyone know if the Constitution is still giving tours? The alien guy might want to see what we were flying around in the 2100s. Zeftel's tactical officer leaned over. Sir, what is she talking about? Our sensors show basic fusion reactors and primitive shielding on their orbital platforms. I heard that, Commander Voss said. You guys are scanning our coffee machines and thinking they're engines. That's fantastic. Oh wait, I'm getting a call from Earth Command. Hold on. The channel went quiet for several minutes. Zeftel paced his bridge. Something was wrong here. These humans should be terrified. They should be begging for mercy. Instead, they acted like his threats were funny jokes. Commander Voss came back on the channel. Her voice had changed slightly. She was still friendly, but there was something else there now. Something that made Zeftel's scales tingle with unease. Okay, I talked to the big boss. Apparently you guys picked a really interesting day to show up. Earth Command wants to know if you would like to reconsider your surrender demand. What? We demand your surrender, not the other way around. I know, but here's the thing. According to our files, nobody has visited Earth in about 50 years. The last guys who tried to invade us, well, let's just say it didn't go well for them. Earth Command is willing to let you guys turn around and leave. No hard feelings. We'll even give you some updated star charts so you don't accidentally fly into any black holes on your way home. Zeftel's anger flared.
Wow,
You dare offer us terms? We are the Zerian Empire. We have conquered 1,000 worlds. That's really impressive, Commander Voss said. How many of those worlds had survived their star-going supernova? What does that have to do with anything? Just curious. Oh, and one more question. When you conquered those 1,000 worlds, how many of them had already fought off extinction-level asteroid impacts, solar flare events, gamma-ray bursts, and interdimensional invasions? Zeftel paused. None of them had faced such things. No species could survive. Right, Commander Voss said. Her voice was getting softer, but somehow more dangerous. That's what we figured. Listen, Zeftel, I'm going to give you some free advice. Earth Command is being really nice by offering to let you leave. I would take that deal if I were you. Never. We will crush your pathetic defenses, and the channel went dead. Zeftel stared at the view screen in fury. How dare these primitive creatures cut him off? Sir, his communications officer said quietly. I'm picking up a lot of chatter from the human orbital platforms. They seem to be laughing. Zeftel listened to the audio feeds from around Earth. Human voices filled his bridge, all of them talking excitedly. Did you see his face when Lisa asked about the supernova? Poor guy has no idea what he just walked into. Should we warn the fleet that's coming in from Jupiter? What fleet from Jupiter? Oh right, you missed it. Earth Command is sending the weekend patrol to help out. Just the weekend patrol. That seems mean? Yeah, but it's probably enough. Zeftel looked at his tactical officer. What fleet? What weekend patrol? The officer checked his sensors and went pale. Sir, I'm detecting 12 small ships approaching from the outer system. They appear to be very small, sir. Barely bigger than shuttles. Zeftel smiled grimly. 12 tiny ships against our entire fleet. These humans are even more foolish than I thought. But as he watched the sensor readings, something cold settled in his stomach. The humans were still laughing. High Commander Zeftel stared at the 12 tiny human ships approaching his massive fleet. Each Imperial vessel was 50 times larger than the biggest human ship. His crew seemed more relaxed now. The humans had been talking big, but their actions showed the truth. 12 small ships against 200 battleships meant this would end quickly. Sir, his weapons officer reported, the human vessels are taking up positions around our fleet. They appear to be surrounding us. Several Imperial officers chuckled. The idea of 12 tiny ships surrounding 200 massive warships was ridiculous. It was like a dozen mice trying to corner a pack of wolves. Let them play their games, Zeftel said. Open fire on their moon. Show them what real power looks like. The Dominator's main cannon powered up. Energy readings climbed to levels that could crack continental plates. Around the fleet, other Imperial ships did the same. 20 massive energy beams lanced out toward Earth's moon. The combined firepower could turn an entire planet into molten slag. The beams hit the lunar surface and disappeared. Zeftel blinked. What happened to our weapons fire? His tactical officer checked his readings 3 times. Sir, the energy appears to have been absorbed completely. No damage to the target. That's impossible. Run diagnostics on all weapon systems. While his crew scrambled to check their equipment, a relaxed voice came over the communication channel. It was a human male with a slight accent. Hello there, Imperial Fleet. This is Commander Mike Chain at Luna Base. Thanks for the power boost, but our collectors work better when they're aimed at the sun. You guys might want to recalibrate your weapons. That barely registered on our meters. Zeftal's head ridges fell in confusion. What do you mean, power boost? Well, you just hit our solar collection arrays with about 40 terawatts of energy. That's enough to power our coffee machines for almost an hour. But honestly, our main star
I think the music seemed good, right?
The Imperial Bridge went silent. Weapons that could destroy planets have been dismissed as barely worth mentioning. Coffee machines that required 40 terawatts of power. Solar collectors that treated planet-killing energy beams like gentle sunshine. Sir, the weapons officer whispered, if their coffee machines need 40 terawatts. Zeftal held up a hand for silence. Something was very wrong here. His intelligence reports had said these humans were primitive. They used chemical rockets and metal projectiles, but somehow they had casually absorbed enough firepower to glass a continent. Human commander, Zeftal said carefully. What exactly are those solar collectors for? Oh, just basic life support stuff. You know, lights, air recycling, artificial gravity, the usual. The main power comes from other sources. What other sources? Well, we've got the zero-point energy taps, the quantum vacuum extractors, and the temporal differential generators. Basic stuff, really. Though I guess if you're still using energy weapons, you probably haven't figured out how to pull power directly from the space-time continuum. Zeftal's science officer looked up from the station with wide eyes. Sir, those technologies are theoretical. No species has ever mastered zero-point energy extraction. The power requirements are minimal. With what? Commander Chan asked. Sorry, I couldn't help it over here. Are you guys having trouble with power generation? Because Earth has some great tutorial videos on basic energy systems. We can send you the links. Tutorial videos. Zeftal sputtered. Yeah, educational content. Step-by-step instruction. Zero-point energy for beginners. Building your first quantum tab, stuff like that. Though I should warn you, the math gets pretty complex if you don't have post-dimensional calculus. The Imperial Science Officer made a choking sound. Post-dimensional calculus was considered the holy grail of theoretical mathematics. No known species had progressed beyond the basic theories. Perhaps, Zeftal said slowly, we should discuss. Alarms started blaring across his fleet. Every ship reported the same thing. Massive energy signatures approaching fast. Sir, the sensor operator called out. I'm reading 12 objects moving toward our position at 0.7 light speed. They're the human ships. Why, that's impossible. Nothing can travel at 70% of light speed in normal space. Sir, they're not using any propulsion system I can recognize. No exhaust, no distortion fields, no quantum tunneling. They're just moving. On the view screen, the 12 human ships became visible. They looked delicate, almost fragile compared to the massive Imperial vessels. Their hulls seemed to be made of some kind of crystalline material that sparkled with inner light. They moved through space like dancers, flowing around the Imperial fleet in graceful arcs. This is Captain Marcus Torres of the UES Enable. A new human voice announced. This is Marine 108. Traffic was murder coming out of the Jupiter system. So what seems to be the problem here? Zeftal tried to maintain his composure. We are here to accept the surrender of your species. Captain Torres laughed. It was a warm, friendly sound that somehow made Zeftal feel like he was missing an obvious joke. Oh, that's precious. Did you guys try the ultimatum? How did that work out for you? The moon base absorbed our weapons fire, Zeftal admitted. Yeah, the moon base does that. Did Mike offer to send you the tutorial videos? He's always trying to help people upgrade their tech. Real humanitarian, that guy. Captain Torres, Zeftal said. Your ships are vastly outnumbered. Surely you can see the futility of resistance out there. Let me check. 12 versus 200. Yeah, I can see how that might look unfair. Should we call for backup? I'd hate for this to be too easy. Easy? Zeftal looked around his bridge. His crew stared at their instruments in disbelief. The human ships had moved around their entire fleet without breaking a sweat. Their moon base had treated planet-killing weapons like a light snack. And now their captain was worried that the fight would be too easy for the humans. Sir, his tactical officer whispered, I'm getting some very strange readings from the human vessels. Their power output is, well, it doesn't make sense. What do you mean? According to our sensors, each human ship is generating more energy than our entire fleet combined. But they're doing it without any recognizable power source. Torres's voice came over the channel again. Hey, Commander Zeftel, can I ask you a question? What's the strongest thing your people have ever fought? We conquered the hegemony of Tarshan. They had weapons that could shatter asteroids. Asteroids, huh? That's cute. What about cosmic-level threats? Ever deal with a supernova? Gamma ray bursts? Reality tears? Reality tears. You know, when space-time gets a little wobbly and starts leaking interdimensional monsters. We had a pretty bad one last Tuesday. It took most of the afternoon to patch up. Zeftel's mind reeled.
But actually the bullets make people
They had dealt with a reality tear. On a Tuesday,
Make
like
them
it was
feel
routine
good.
maintenance. Sir, his communications officer said urgently, I'm picking up a transmission from Earth Command to their ships. Let me hear it. The Earth Command frequency crackled to life. Torres, this is Admiral Park's situation report. Standard first contact scenario, Admiral. The Imperial fleet showed up with surrender demands. They tried to demonstrate force by shooting Luna Base. Mike says thanks for the extra power. Copy that. Rules of engagement. They haven't actually attacked anything important yet.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we start with minimum force
Why?
and work
I
our way
don't
up if
see
needed.
any much
Agreed.
Thai
Try not to
guy
break anything
do like a
expensive. These look like
mall,
antique
I
ships.
think it's
Might be
more
worth
like
studying.
from all the
Understood.
countries.
Setting weapons to 0.001%
I think
power.
because
The
I
channel
have a
went dead.
COVID
Zeftel
here.
stared at his view screen where the
I
beautiful
think
human
you
ships
have a
continued their graceful dance around his fleet
you have to have a little bit
percent
of
power.
COVID
Humans were
here.
planning to fight the entire
Right.
Imperial fleet at minimum power settings, like they were afraid of accidentally causing too much damage.
Oh,
Sir,
Ellie,
his
stop
weapons
it.
officer said quietly,
Well,
maybe we should reconsider their offer to leave. Zeftal looked at the tactical display. 200 ships that represented the might of the Zirian Empire, surrounded by 12 vessels that treated physics like a gentle
Is that
suggestion.
my friend?
His
Is
crews
that
were brave, but they
Bill?
weren't stupid. Captain
That's not
Torres, he
Bill,
said
right?
slowly.
Yeah.
Perhaps we could discuss terms. Oh, we're way past terms now, buddy, Torres replied cheerfully. You shot at Luna Base. Mike's really nice about that kind of thing, but Earth Command takes a dim view of people trying to damage our coffee supplies. I'm afraid we're going to have to do this the fun way. The human ships began to glow.
Bill?
The 12 human ships began to glow brighter.
It's not my
Captain
friend.
Torres's voice came over the communication channel with the same relaxed tone someone might use to discuss the weather.
Like my friend,
All right,
but she
folks,
not
let's
my
keep this
friend.
simple. Weapons to
Thank you
minimum
for the
power,
plus
targeting
one.
non-essential systems only. We want them functional enough to limp home to tell everyone what happened here.
Thank you.
High Commander Zeftal watched his tactical display as the human vessels moved into attack positions. Each one was still vastly smaller than his smallest escort ship. But something about the way they moved made his scales itch with nervous energy. Sir, his weapons officer called out. Should we return fire? Zeftal hesitated. Everything about this situation felt wrong. These humans had absorbed planet-killing energy like it was nothing.
What is
Their ships
the
moved at
little
impossible
event
speeds.
that you have?
They talked about reality tears and interdimensional monsters like they were everyday problems. Hold fire, he ordered. Let's see what they can actually do. The first human ship, the Inevitable, fired a single shot. It looked like a small pulse of golden light barely visible against the stars. The pulse moved slowly toward the Imperial flagship, giving Zeftal plenty of time to watch it approach. Shields up, he commanded. The Dominator's defensive shields flared to life. Energy barriers that could stop antimatter warheads and solar flares created a glowing dome around the massive ship. The golden pulse touched the shields and every system on the bridge went dark. Emergency lighting kicked in as backup power struggled to compensate. The shield generators were offline. The main engines were offline. Even the coffee dispenser in the break room was offline. What happened? Zeftal demanded. His engineering officer checked his handheld scanner with shaking hands. Sir, that pulse somehow drained all of our main power systems. Not destroyed, just empty. Like someone pulled the plug on our entire ship. Captain Torres' voice came through the emergency communication system.
Sorry about that, Commander.
We're still working on the non-lethal settings. Your ship should be back online in about 10 minutes. Coffee dispenser might take longer, though. Those things are always finicky.
Oh, look at the
Around the
Buddha.
Imperial fleet, 11 more golden pulses reached
What
their
is
targets.
this Buddha
One by one,
doing?
the massive warships went dark.
Oh,
Not destroyed, not
but
damaged,
like
just
making
completely drained of power. 200 vessels that had
so.
conquered 1,000 worlds floated helpless in space. How? Zeftal whispered. Oh, that's just basic energy manipulation, Torres explained. We pull the power out of your systems and store it for later. Very eco-friendly. Earth Command is big on recycling these days. Zeftal's science officer managed to get his equipment working on battery power. Sir, according to these readings, they didn't just drain our power. They somehow extracted the energy from our antimatter containment systems without causing explosions. That should be impossible. Yeah, we get that a lot, Torres said. Impossible this, impossible that. You'd be surprised how many impossible things become possible once you stop thinking inside the box.
Dude,
The communication system crackled as a new voice joined the conversation. This one carried the authority of High Command. Captain Torres, this is Admiral Park. Situation update? Admiral, we've successfully disabled the Imperial fleet using standard minimum force protocols. No casualties, minimal damage. They should be back online shortly. Good work. However, we have a new development. Long-range sensors are detecting additional ships approaching from outside the system. Appears to be a much larger Imperial fleet. Zeftal's heart leaped. Reinforcements! The second and third fleets must have received his emergency beacon. 3,000 ships would be arriving soon. Enough firepower to level entire star systems. Captain Torres seemed unconcerned. How many ships are we talking about, Admiral? Approximately 3,000 vessels. All capital ship class or larger. 3,000, huh? That's a pretty good start. Should we call in more of our people? Negative, Captain. Earth Command believes the weekend patrol should be sufficient.
11
Weekend patrol? Zeftal looked around his darkened bridge in confusion.
2 p.m.
12 ships versus 3,000, and the humans thought their weekend patrol would be enough? Torres, he called out, are you insane? 3,000 Imperial warships are coming. You need to retreat while you still can. Laughter echoed across the communication channel, not just from Torres, but from all 12 human ships. Oh, Zeftal, Torres said between chuckles. You really don't understand what you're dealing with, do you? 3,000 ships might actually make this interesting. We haven't had a good workout in months. A workout? Zeftal's voice cracked. Those are battleships, dreadnoughts. Planet killers! Yeah, we saw the specs when your first fleet arrived. Pretty standard stuff. Fusion power, energy shields, projectile weapons. Very retro. Earth went through that phase about 200 years ago. The tactical officer managed to get his screens working again. Sir, the second and third fleets are dropping out of hyperspace now. All ships are moving into attack formation. On the emergency view screen, space filled with Imperial vessels. Massive dreadnoughts that dwarfed even the Dominator. Battleships bristling with weapons that could crack moons. Carrier ships launching swarms of fighters. It was the largest concentration of military force the Zerion Empire had ever assembled. Now that's more like it, Torres said approvingly. Attention Imperial fleet, this is Captain Torres of the Earth Defense Force. You guys really went all out for this. We appreciate the effort. The fleet commander's voice boomed across all frequencies. This is Fleet Admiral Korixtal of the Second Fleet. Surrender immediately or face total annihilation. Torres replied in the same cheerful tone he'd been using all day. Hi there, Admiral. Thanks for coming out. Just so we're all clear on the situation, are you planning to attack Earth? We will burn your pathetic world to ash unless you release our ships immediately. Okay, just wanted to make sure. See, Earth Command has very specific rules about people who threaten to burn our planet. We're required to take that kind of personally. Admiral Park's voice cut in from Earth Command. Captain Torres, you are authorized to use enhanced minimum force. Try not to make too much of a mess. Enhanced minimum force, got it. Bumping weapons up to 0.01% power. Zeftal's engineering officer looked up from his scanner. Sir, our main power is coming back online. Good. Get us away from the human ships immediately. As the Dominator's engines restarted, Zeftal watched the tactical display. 3,000 Imperial ships moved into attack formation around the 12 tiny human vessels. It should have been like watching insects surround eagles. Instead, it felt like watching eagles surround dragons. Fleet Admiral Korixtal, Torres announced. Last chance to reconsider. Earth really doesn't want to hurt anyone today. We'll even throw in those tutorial videos Commander Chen mentioned. Attack! Korixtal roared. 3,000 ships opened fire simultaneously. Energy beams that could sterilize continents. Projectiles that could shatter asteroids. And antimatter warheads that could crack planets all converged on the 12 human ships. The space around the human vessels lit up like a newborn star as the massive barrage hit home. The light was so bright that the Imperial fleet had to reduce their view screens to avoid being blinded. When the light
no
faded, the 12
guy
human ships
in your
hung in
city?
space completely undamaged. Their crystalline hulls sparkled prettily in the starlight as if nothing had happened. Well, Torres said conversationally, that was fun. Our turn now. The human ships began to move. Not the graceful dance they had performed earlier,
You
but
can
something
tell
faster
when
and more purposeful.
someone
They spread out through the Imperial fleet like they were swimming through space,
is so
dodging between the
fun.
massive warships with impossible agility. Sir, Zeftal's tactical officer reported, the human ships are moving at near light speed inside our formation. That should be impossible without destroying everything around them.
They should be
Impossible seems to be their specialty,
Zeftal
Zeftal muttered. The Inevitable fired a single shot at the nearest dreadnought. The golden pulse struck the massive ship's shields and passed right through them without any apparent effect. For a moment, nothing happened. Then every weapon on the dreadnought fired at once, not at the human ships, but at other Imperial vessels. The dreadnought's own missiles and energy beams struck its sister ships, causing explosions and system failures throughout the fleet. What's happening? Admiral Corextal demanded. Torres answered cheerfully. Oh, we just convinced your ship's targeting systems that all the other Imperial vessels are hostile. Should sort itself out in a few minutes, probably. Around the fleet, the other human ships were firing similar golden pulses. Each shot somehow turned Imperial warships against each other. The massive fleet began attacking itself as confused crews tried to figure out why their weapons were targeting their own allies. This is madness, Corextal shouted. This is Tuesday, Torres corrected. You should see what we do when we're actually trying. Zeftal watched in horror as the pride of the Zerian Empire tore itself apart. 3,000 ships reduced to chaos by 12 vessels that treated the laws of physics like mild suggestions. Attention Imperial fleets. Admiral Park's voice announced from Earth. You have exactly 5 minutes to cease hostilities and prepare for surrender negotiations. After that, we'll be forced to send in the actual military. Fleet Admiral Corextal's flagship erupted in a series of controlled explosions as its own antimatter torpedoes struck the command deck. The Imperial Wrath didn't break apart, but every system on the bridge went dark. Emergency power kicked in, revealing the Admiral floating unconscious in his command chair.
Are we still
Oops,
streaming?
Captain Torres said over the communication channel.
Can anyone
Sorry about
make
that.
some noise?
We're still fine-tuning the
alert?
friendly fire protocols. Your Admiral should be okay. Might have a headache when he wakes up, though. High Commander Zeftal watched the tactical display in growing horror. 3,000 Imperial warships floated in space, most of them damaged by their own weapons. The 12 human ships moved between them like ghosts, untouchable and unstoppable. Sir, his communications officer called out. I'm receiving surrender requests from 700 Imperial vessels. They want to know how to make the shooting stop. Tell them to power down all weapons and wait for instructions, Zeftal ordered. He opened a channel to the human ships. Captain Torres, I am prepared to discuss terms. Terms? Torres sounded genuinely confused. Oh, you mean surrender stuff? Yeah, we can do that. Though I should probably mention that Earth Command is getting a little impatient. You guys have been shooting at our stuff for almost an hour now.
Okay, see you.
Zeftal
Do you
looked
see
at his
something
chronometer.
up on my
It felt like they had
screen?
been fighting for days, but Torres was right.
No,
Less than an hour had passed since the first shots were fired. Torres, this is Admiral Park, status report. Admiral, we've successfully disabled approximately 70% of the Imperial fleet using standard non-lethal protocols. The remaining ships are either surrendering or too confused to fight effectively. No human casualties, minimal property damage to the enemy fleet. Good work. However, we have another situation developing. Our deep space sensors are detecting massive energy buildups from multiple Imperial sectors. It appears they're mobilizing their entire military. Zeftal's heart sank. The Empire was calling in every fleet, every ship, every weapon they had. Millions of vessels would be arriving soon. The humans might be powerful, but surely they couldn't face the entire Zerian military.
Cannot reach her
Captain
right
Torres,
now.
however, seemed delighted by the news. The entire Imperial military? All of
I
it?
don't
Oh
know
man,
how
this is
to
going to
do
be
this,
awesome. How
because
long until they
my
get here,
phone
Admiral?
is dead.
Approximately 6 hours. Captain, Earth Command wants to know if you require additional support. No, we should be fine. Though maybe send the Laughing Matter. The crew has been complaining about being stuck on patrol duty. This might cheer them up. The Laughing Matter? Zeftal had never heard of that ship. It wasn't one of the 12 vessels currently making his fleet look like amateurs. Admiral Park, he called out. What is the Laughing Matter? There was a pause before Admiral Park responded. Commander Zeftal, the Laughing Matter is one of our newer experimental vessels. Still in the testing phase, really. What kind of experiments? Captain Torres answered for him. Oh, you know, standard stuff. Reality manipulation, temporal mechanics, probability engineering. The usual new ship problems. Last week they accidentally created a small universe in the cargo bay. Took forever to clean up. Created a universe by accident. In the cargo bay. As a minor maintenance issue, Zeftal looked around his bridge at his crew. They were all staring at their instruments with the same expression of dawning comprehension. They had picked a fight with beings who treated the fundamental forces of existence like household appliances. Sir, his science officer whispered, I've been analyzing the energy signatures from the human ships. The readings don't make sense according to any known physics. What do you mean? They're not just using advanced technology. They're using impossible technology. According to my instruments, those ships are simultaneously in multiple dimensions, existing in several quantum states at once, and somehow generating negative entropy. Negative entropy? They're making space around them more organized instead of less organized. That violates the most basic laws of thermodynamics. It should be impossible for matter to exist in our universe if it's doing that. Torres' voice cut into their conversation. Hey, are you guys talking about our entropy inverters? Yeah, those are pretty handy. Really cuts down on maintenance costs when your ship fixes itself. Self-repairing ships that violated the laws of physics. Weapons that could turn enemy fleets against themselves. Defensive systems that treated planet-killing weapons like gentle breezes. And now they were sending an experimental vessel that could accidentally create universes. Captain Torres, Zeftal said slowly, what exactly is humanity? What do you mean? We're just people. You know, bipedal primates from Earth, nothing special. Nothing special? You've disabled 3,000 warships with 12 vessels. Well, yeah, but you guys are using really old technology. It's like bringing swords to a gunfight, except the guns can also manipulate reality and exist in 17 dimensions simultaneously. Admiral Park's voice returned to the channel. All Imperial vessels, this is Earth Command. The Laughing Matter is approaching your position. Do not repeat, do not attempt to scan or target that vessel. Our insurance doesn't cover reality tears caused by hostile scanning. Reality tears? Zeftal asked. Yeah, Torres explained. The Laughing Matter's hull is made of crystallized space-time. Sometimes sensors bounce off it weird and accidentally poke holes in the universe. Usually not a big deal, but the cleanup paperwork is a nightmare. On the tactical display, a new contact appeared at the edge of the system. It was moving toward them at a significant fraction of light speed. But unlike the other human ships, this one seemed to be flickering in and out of existence. Sir, the sensor operator reported, I'm trying to get a reading on the new human vessel, but my instruments keep showing different results. Sometimes it's the size of a shuttle, sometimes it's bigger than a space station, and sometimes it doesn't exist at all. That's normal, Torres said helpfully. The Laughing Matter exists in a state of quantum superposition. It's simultaneously multiple sizes until someone observes it directly. Really efficient use of space. The new ship appeared on the view screen as it approached the Imperial fleet. It looked like a work of art more than a weapon of war. Its hull seemed to be made of living starlight, constantly shifting and changing patterns. Reality bent around it like heat waves, and looking at it too long made Zeftal's eyes water. This is Commander Elena Rodriguez of the UES Laughing Matter, a crisp female voice announced. Sorry we're late. We were testing the new probability drive and accidentally ended up in a timeline where dinosaurs invented space travel. Took a while to find our way back to the right reality. No problem, Rodriguez, Torres replied. We were just showing our new friends here some basic defensive maneuvers. How's the new ship performing? Pretty well. The reality anchor is holding steady. The quantum processors are only creating minor paradoxes, and we haven't accidentally destroyed any fundamental constants in the last hour. I call that a successful test run. Zeftal's science officer looked up from his instruments with wide eyes. Sir, that ship is generating power levels that don't fit on any scale I know. It's like trying to measure the brightness of a star with a candle. How much power? Zeftal asked. According to my readings, sir, that single human vessel is generating more energy than our entire home system star. More energy than a star. One ship, and they called it experimental. Commander Rodriguez's voice came over the channel again. So what's the situation here? Are we doing the whole surrender negotiation thing? Or do I get to test the new weapons? Well, Torres said thoughtfully, They did threaten to burn Earth to ash. Earth Command takes that kind of thing pretty seriously. Oh, they did? That's adorable. Hey, Commander Zeftal, quick question. When your people said they would burn our planet to ash, did they mean that literally, or was it just trash talk? Zeftal swallowed hard. It was meant as a serious threat. Interesting. And how exactly were you planning to burn a planet that survived having its star go supernova? Our star went supernova about 300 years ago, Rodriguez explained casually. Really inconvenient timing. Right in the middle of finals week at the universities. But hey, that's how we learn to manipulate stellar mechanics. Nothing motivates scientific advancement like the complete destruction of your solar system. They had survived their star exploding. Not just survived, but learned to control stellar mechanics from the experience. Zeftal felt something fundamental break in his understanding of the universe. Commander Rodriguez, he said quietly, what would it take for the Imperial fleet to leave this system peacefully? Oh, that's easy. Apologize for threatening Earth. Promise not to invade anyone else without asking nicely first, and maybe help us test some of our new diplomatic protocols. We're working on a universal translator that works at the quantum level. Should be fun. And if we refuse, well, then I get to test the new probability weapons. They don't actually hurt anyone. They just make it extremely likely that all your ships will spontaneously decide to surrender and go home. The math is fascinating, but the practical effect is that you all suddenly really want to leave. Weapons that changed probability itself. Zeftal looked at his crew, then at the tactical display showing his broken fleet surrounded by impossible human ships. 6 hours later, High Commander Zeftal found himself sitting in what the humans called the diplomatic lounge aboard the UES Laughing Matter.
Are we
The room
gonna have
defied
a
several laws
problem
of physics
with
that he had
all the
previously considered
streaming?
unbreakable. The walls showed a real-time view of the galaxy from impossible
So,
angles.
what
The
is
furniture
the thing
adjusted
that's
itself to perfectly
going
fit
down
whoever sat
beside
down,
the,
and the coffee machine dispensed beverages that
IRL
tasted
things?
exactly like whatever the drinker was hoping for. Commander Elena Rodriguez sat
What
across
else?
from him, casually sipping something that smelled like home and looked like liquid starlight. Captain Torres lounged in a chair
they
that
bought
had somehow
10
grown
minutes
itself
ago.
around his body for maximum comfort. Through the transparent wall, Zeftal could see the massive Imperial reinforcement fleet that had arrived an hour ago.
Yeah.
7 million ships. The entire military
It's
might of
fine
the
for
Zerion
you,
Empire,
but I
assembled to
cannot
crush
see
a single
for
primitive world. They hung motionless in space, their crews too confused and terrified to
show
do
you.
anything but wait for orders. So, Rodriguez said cheerfully, how are you feeling about all this? Zeftal looked at his beverage. The humans had offered him something called reconciliation tea, which somehow tasted like his grandmother's cooking and made him feel peaceful despite the circumstances. Confused, he admitted. Yesterday, the Zerion Empire was the greatest military power in the galaxy. Today we learned that we are children playing with toys. Torres nodded sympathetically. Yeah, that's pretty common for first contact situations. Most species go through the same thing when they meet us. Don't feel bad about it. Most
But
species?
it's okay.
How many others
I
have you
have
encountered?
fun.
Oh, dozens, Rodriguez said.
Well,
Though you guys are the first ones to
this
bring quite
phone
this
is
many
already
ships.
broke. I cannot
Usually people
stream.
get the
Can you
hint after we
buy
disable their first
me
fleet.
new iPhone,
7 million
please?
vessels is impressive. Shows real commitment. Through the wall, Zeftal watched as human ships moved between the Imperial vessels.
It was
Each
right
human ship
here.
was
I
surrounded
mean,
by dozens of massive
since
warships, but
we
instead of
already
fighting,
here, guy,
the
why
crews
you
were
wasting time,
talking,
though?
sharing information.
Guy,
Some Imperial
can you
vessels were even docking with human ships for what looked like friendly visits. What are they doing out there? He asked.
55,000 baht.
Standard post-conflict protocols, Torres explained.
I
Medical
mean,
assistance for
we
anyone who got hurt.
already here.
Technical
I
support for
mean-
ships that need repairs and cultural exchange programs. Your crews are really curious about human technology. Can't say I blame them. Rodriguez pulled up a holographic display showing the current status of the Imperial fleet. Green lights indicated ships that had formally surrendered. Yellow lights showed vessels requesting humanitarian aid. And blue lights marked ships that had asked to join the cultural exchange program. Nearly the entire fleet was lit up in friendly colors. Your people are adapting well, she observed. Usually takes longer for the shock to wear off. Admiral Korextal's voice came over the communication system. He had woken up an hour ago
But how
and immediately
about the
requested
price
permission
again?
to come aboard the human ship. Commander Rodriguez,
check.
the repair teams you sent have fixed our engines better than they were when we left port. How is that possible?
This is
Oh,
like
that's just
gonna
basic
be
maintenance,
a
Rodriguez
problem
replied.
with my alert,
Your antimatter containment
right?
systems were running at about 60% efficiency. We tweaked the quantum alignment and upgraded your power couplings to military grade. Should give you about
Because
3
my
times your previous
alert would
output.
not be
You
I
improved
don't
our
know,
ships.
maybe?
Well, yeah. Can't have you flying around with unsafe equipment.
Yo,
What if your engines
how
failed in
about
deep
the fly?
space?
I wanna
Someone
see
could
the
get hurt.
fly here.
Zeftal shook his head in amazement. The humans had defeated the largest military force in
I just
galactic
wanna
history,
see. I'm not
and their first
actually
concern was
gonna
making sure
buy
the defeated enemy
but I
had
just
safe
wanna
transportation
see.
home. Why? He asked.
iPhone
Why help
7
us?
Pro
We
Max.
came here to conquer your
4
world.
Max is bigger.
Torres and Rodriguez exchanged a look that Zeftal was beginning to recognize. It was the expression humans got when they were about to say something that would
the
completely
price
reframe his
here.
understanding of reality. Commander, Torres said gently, can I ask you something? In all the worlds your empire conquered, how many of them were actually threats to your people? Zeftal thought about it. None, really. We conquered them for resources, territory, strategic positions, standard imperial expansion. Right, and how many of those worlds had survived extinction-level events? Solar collapse, dimensional incursions, reality storms, that kind of thing. None that I know of. Such events would destroy any civilization.
Right?
Rodriguez nodded.
So
That's what we
even though
figured.
you have money,
See, humanity
you
has
cannot
survived
buy
all of those
right
things
now.
multiple times.
iPhone
When your
17.
sun explodes, you learn to build better. When reality starts falling apart, you learn to fix it. When interdimensional monsters try to eat your planet, you learn to fight back. But more importantly, Torres continued, you learn what really matters. After you've survived the universe literally trying to kill you, political conquest starts to seem pretty silly. Admiral Park's voice joined the conversation from Earth. Commanders, we've just received formal surrender documents from the Imperial High Command.
How can
Apparently
we do
news of the fleet
selfie?
situation has reached their home
Can we
worlds.
do like this?
How did they take it? Rodriguez asked. Better than expected. The Imperial Council has requested permission to send a diplomatic mission to Earth. They want to discuss what they call fundamental updates to Imperial policy.
Oh yeah,
Zeftal looked up in
forget
surprise.
iPhone cannot do that.
The High Command is abandoning the conquest agenda? Sounds like it, Torres said. Amazing what a little perspective can do. When you realize you're not the biggest fish in the pond, you start thinking about making friends instead of enemies. The holographic display updated to show incoming messages from across the Empire. World after world was requesting information about human technology, human culture, human diplomatic systems. The galaxy's largest military power was transforming into its most eager student body. This is unprecedented, Zeftal murmured. In 3,000 years of Imperial history, we have never backed down from a fight. You're not backing down, Rodriguez corrected. You're evolving. Big difference. Captain Torres stood up and walked to the wall display. With a gesture, he zoomed in on the Imperial homeworlds. Want to know something interesting? Your people have been trying to solve resource scarcity through conquest for millennia. Meanwhile, Earth solved that problem 200 years ago with basic energy manipulation. Yeah, you know. Converting matter to energy and back again, tapping zero-point fields, borrowing power from parallel dimensions. Once you can create unlimited resources, territorial expansion becomes kind of pointless. Rodriguez activated another display showing what looked like construction plans. We've been working on a resource-sharing network for the local Galactic arm. Participating civilizations get access to unlimited clean energy, advanced manufacturing, and interdimensional trade networks. Interested? Zeftal stared at the plans. The humans were offering to share technology that would make the entire concept of scarcity obsolete. Not just for Earth, but for everyone. Why would you share such power? He asked. Because power shared is power multiplied, Torres said simply. The more civilizations that can defend themselves against cosmic threats, the safer everyone becomes. When reality tears start opening up, you want as many allies as possible. Besides, Rodriguez added with a grin, it's more fun when everyone can play on the same level. Gets boring being the only ones with universe-breaking technology. Admiral Korextal's voice came over the communication system again. Human commanders, I have a question about your defensive systems. My tactical officers are claiming your shields operate by convincing incoming weapons that they don't want to cause damage. Is this accurate? Pretty much, Torres confirmed. We call it sympathetic defense. Instead of blocking attacks, we make the weapons feel bad about attacking us. Much more energy efficient than traditional shielding. How do you make weapons feel emotions? Oh, everything has emotions at the quantum level. You just need to know how to talk to them. It's all about quantum empathy and subatomic psychology. We could teach you the basics if you're interested. Zeftal listened to the conversation with growing amazement. The humans weren't just technologically advanced. They had developed science so far beyond normal understanding that they could have conversations with inanimate objects and convince weapons to be peaceful. Commander Rodriguez, he said, may I ask what humanity plans to do now? With the Empire surrendering, what are your goals? Rodriguez considered the question seriously. Same as always, really. Keep learning, keep exploring, keep making friends. There's a whole universe out there full of interesting people and fascinating problems. We want to meet everyone and help solve everything. That's it. No territorial ambitions, no desire for galactic dominance. Why would we want to dominate the galaxy? Torres asked, genuinely puzzled. That sounds like a lot of paperwork. Besides, running other people's lives for them seems pretty rude. Admiral Park's voice returned to the channel. All commanders, we're receiving a priority transmission from the Galactic Council. They're requesting an emergency session to discuss the human situation. Oh, good, Rodriguez said happily. I love meeting new people. Should we bring snacks? Always bring snacks, Torres agreed. Nothing says peaceful intentions like homemade cookies.